Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World. Today I would like to start optimizing my colony. So now I'm on the beautiful planet of Apollo and I would like to make some animal ranches in order to produce meat. But it's not always clear what the most optimal way to do it is, because if you click on the animal ranch you see all these values like the soil fertilities, and you can get bonuses from residential areas and power plants and water towers. And well, maybe it's not always clear what the most optimal way of putting your buildings is, because there's many options of doing it. So before I go into detail, I would like to show you a little trick. As you remember maybe from my previous settlement video, if you put transport grids,
Structure plan.
they have to be adjacent to each other.
Structure
So I
plan.
can't put one here.
You can't build that.
So
here.
that's why people make the H
You can't
shape.
build that here.
Because then, now that these are planned, every building that I would build is in contact with the transport grid, which is a requirement, otherwise the building doesn't work. However, this is not the end, because you can actually you can now remove these and everything still works. At least in the current version of the game. I can't promise that this will always be like this, but at the moment, basically you can save 2 space by removing 2 transport grids. So that's very nice. So what else? Well, now we want to start planning our buildings. And the nice thing is, the user Spacepwn has made a very nice Excel sheet that basically calculates how optimal your settlement is. So in that Excel sheet, you will find one basically sheet for all the planets that you have, and then you can fill in your fertilities here. So if you're not sure how you can find those, you can just click on one of the farms. So here you need, in Apollo, you need the animal ranch, and then you will get these green things. And here on the top it says the soil fertility. So that's the base fertility of that piece of land. So the more fertility, the more meat you can produce. Then you can also see how much power, housing, and water each building needs. So you need a certain amount of power plants, water towers, and residential areas per settlement that you have. Luckily, Spacepwn has calculated all of that for us. So he put a goal here. For example, in Apollo, you want to have 12 production buildings. Here's the legend on the right. You want to have 2 power plants, 2 water towers, 2 residential areas, 1 warehouse, 1 entertainment complex, and 10 transport grids. Because if you have less than 2 water towers, no one gets the water bonus. So you want to have at least 2 of those, or exactly 2 of those. So he calculated that for us. So we want to basically reach this goal. So I already put my soil fertilities here. And the nice thing about this sheet is that it automatically tells you which are really nice places to put stuff on. Because if I, for example, put 100 here, it becomes red. But it's actually 166 and it becomes green automatically to tell me like, hey, maybe you want to put a production building here because it's a very nice value there. So all of these parts you shouldn't touch, because that would destroy the sheet. So basically this square you can touch and this square you can touch. So then you can start using these abbreviations in order to plan your settlement. So I can put transport grids here. There. So I reached my goal of transport grids. That became green. But of course, the transport grids themselves take power, water, and residential. They take people to work there. So we need to also build residential areas and stuff like that. So now I need to decide where to put my 12 buildings, production buildings. Well, I'm a bit unlucky that these are not quite as good, these squares here. But at least I definitely want to put one there, there, and there. So the most optimal way would be like to make this checkered pattern. And the reason why this is optimal is that you can put one of the bonus buildings in the middle and they will be adjacent to 3 of these buildings. So the building that gives the most bonus for being adjacent to a production building is the residential area. The one that gives the second most is the water tower, and the one that gives the least bonus is the power plant. So I definitely want to give these 2 here the bonus. But while I'm at it, I might as well put it here, because then this building also gets a bonus. So I put an R there. So at the moment, if I would just have these buildings, I would make a certain amount of meat per day, but with the residential area, I double that already. So that's very nice. So I actually have 12 buildings to place, and I only have 5 at the moment, so I'm just going to put one there as well, and maybe there. Let's see. I'm not sure if it would be best to just fill this up with buildings, or to actually put, for example, a bonus building like here or something. But we will find that out with this sheet. So for now, I'm just going to make my 12 buildings. There we go. So 12 buildings done. 12 production building. There. So whether this is optimal or not, then you can start trying around, right? So I can change, for example, this residential or this power plant into a residential area, and this into a power plant. So that then I would make 8,900 per day. But if I put a residential area here and the power plant there, then I have 9,000. So that's better. What about a water tower over here? While I make this into a power plant, I would also make less, and so on. So basically, you can just start playing around with all your values and yeah, basically decide where you want to put your things in order to make this as optimal as possible. You can see it fairly well out of yourself already when you look at this, like where you should put your things. But this really tells you or gives you an option to really find out the most optimal way of putting your buildings. For example, here is super small, but if I would actually put this H here and the building there, I would actually make 6 more per day, because this one has 98 and that one has 97. So you can really start fiddling around with that if you're really into the optimization game. So then I can start trying to optimize all this, or to actually build this. So I'll do that. Build. So this sheet will not give you the right values if you don't have 4 types of food in your entertainment complex. So it really assumes you have, and it's also something you really want to have. So
structure supplied. Construction commenced. Structure supplied. Construction commenced. Structure supplied. Construction commenced.
There we go. So now I have a pretty much optimal settlement. So I haven't played enough with this settlement to really optimize it, because maybe there might be a better combination. I'm not sure yet. But that's up to you to decide for your own settlements if you really want it optimal, or just do it quickly. But yeah, so now at least you know about the trick with the transport grid, so you can actually delete 2 and gain space for 2 more buildings. And now you know how to really optimize your settlement with this Excel sheet. So with that, a very big shout out to Spacepwn. I'll provide the link to his sheet and the forum topic in the description, and I hope you find it useful, and see you next time.